We saw Gotenks use it first, and then we saw Gohan use it, the Galactic Donuts Technique. It might not be as famous or as beloved as a Super Ghost Kamikaze attack when it comes to Gotenks, but it is probably his second most famous technique. And on this edition of the Technique Guide, let's take a look at the Galactic Donuts.
More.
So I figured on this video we're going to be discussing not just the Galactic Donuts, but also the upgraded version, which is the Ultra Buu-Buu Volleyball Clash that Gotenks used against Majin Buu. In fact, it all begins there. Let's go ahead and go to where this whole thing started, which would be chapter 490 of the manga, Gotenks versus Super Buu. In Daizenshu 2, page 217, or Daizenshu 4, page 112, it states the following. A technique that Gotenks used during the battle with Majin Buu, concentrating ki in his fingertips, he draws a circle in the air, making a donut-shaped bundle of ki. This bundle of ki can freely expand and contract and can also be guided. The technique itself doesn't have any special force to it, but you can paralyze the opponent by having the donut contract around them, then inflict massive damage on them, mainly used when immobilizing an opponent. So yes, that's what it is. It's not really an attack or a defensive technique. It's a paralysis technique. It's kind of like the way that the solar flare, the Taioken is, where it's not meant to really hurt you, but it blinds you and sets you up for a follow-up attack. That's what this pretty much is. And we see Gotenks use this on Majin Buu. The problem is that Buu, because of his very flexible gumball body, it doesn't really affect him as well as it should have. Now, one thing that did surprise me recently is that Gohan used this technique to try to restrain Moro in the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc. But prior to that, we never saw Gohan use that move before. Ever, in fact. So it sounds to me like at some point off screen, Gohan learned it from Goten or Trunks. Or maybe he developed it on his own. We may never know. Now, there is an upgraded version of this move that is used in Xenoverse 2 called the Super Donut Volley, where Gotenks uses multiple Galactic Donuts quickly to explode. So it's kind of like a combination of like the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack and this move, the Donut, Galactic Donut. Not really, but that's the best way to describe it. But it's really only seen in that game. I haven't seen it in any of the anime or manga. So one of Gotenks' real trump cards is the upgraded version of this, or at least the modified version, known as Gekitotsu Ultra Buu-Buu Volleyball, which translates to Clash Ultra Buu-Buu Volleyball. This is first used in manga chapter 494, and what it says in the guidebooks is the following, and then I'll elaborate. It says, a technique that Gotenks brought out during the battle with Majin Buu. It's unleashed by two people. To start, the first person seals the opponent up with rapid-fire Galactic Donuts and then passes them, at which point the other person returns the toss and then the first person attacks. Gotenks unleashed this with Piccolo's assistance. However, doubt remained in Piccolo's heart of whether this help was really necessary. Piccolo doubted a lot of things that Gotenks did, and in many ways, he may have been right. Now, this move is interesting because Gotenks creating this sort of cocoon-looking thing, like a volleyball is what it is, right? That's why it's called that, this sort of energy sphere. I feel like if Gotenks used this move on anybody besides Majin Buu, it would have killed them. It would have squashed them like a bug. Because Majin Buu's body being so flexible, it can be contained inside of this volleyball, whereas if you did this move on like Frieza, it might chop his limbs off. You know what I mean? So the move is actually more dangerous than Dragon Ball Z would even tell you when you think about it like that. But because it's Majin Buu, he's able to trap Buu here, and then he and Piccolo pretty much do the spiking Buu ball slam, as they call it, and try to inflict damage on Majin Buu. It's interesting too because when they spike it into the ground, it makes this huge crater and seems to have actually really damaged Majin Buu. You wouldn't think it would, but this move really hurt him for at least a brief time anyways. It is not made clear if this is a move that really requires a lot of like Super Saiyan 3 power to use. We see Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks do it, but presumably even regular Super Gotenks could probably pull this off, although perhaps not with as much energy as the SS3 version. Because remember, in order to have this kind of Galactic Donut move actually work, you have to put out a Ki Blast or a Ki Donut that's strong enough to squeeze someone like a bear hug. And it's not going to work on somebody who's significantly stronger. So I feel like this whole Buu versus Gotenks fight to me has always been about endurance. Gotenks just couldn't hold on. Majin Buu has incredible stamina. I've talked about this in the past on many videos, and it's very, very hard to kill. And even though this move did do damage, it did not finish the job. And it does make you wonder if Gotenks using this move drained his energy, his fusion time, his Super Saiyan 3 time, and may have shortened how long he was in that form. So with that being said, I will end this technique guide. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, and if you did enjoy it, check out these videos as well.